Homeschooling can sometimes feel like we're walking this path alone, especially as our kids reach the high school years and start thinking about college. One of the biggest fears I hear from homeschooling moms is this: am I doing enough to prepare my child to compete with students coming out of more traditional schools? I want you to know that yes, you can absolutely prepare your homeschooler for college success. And today I'm going to share with you 8 practical college application tips specifically for homeschooling families so you feel more confident guiding your teen through this process. Let's get started. Tip number 1 is to start planning early. Beginning in middle school, you should start mapping out courses, credits, and extracurriculars. Also, I want you to keep in mind the college admissions requirements. At a minimum, your student should have the following courses to be considered competitive for admissions to most colleges and universities. They should have 4 credits of English, 4 credits of math at or above Algebra 1 or higher, at least 3 credits of a natural science, at least 2 of which should have lab components, 3 credits of social science, 2 credits of a world language. Sometimes this can include American Sign Language, and at least 2 academic electives. Remember, these are minimum requirements and will differ from school to school. Meeting those minimums does not at all guarantee admissions. The more courses your student takes, particularly in the areas of interest to them, the more competitive they will be. It's also important to know that rigor and consistency matter. Your child should be taking the most difficult courses that he or she can handle. Honors courses hold more weight than general courses, and AP and college dual enrollment courses hold the most weight. You want to show admissions officers that your student is motivated, challenged, and prepared. Tip number 2 is to maintain strong records and transcripts. In addition to being their school administrator and teacher, you are also your teen's school counselor and registrar. One of your roles is to create and maintain your student's official transcript. This transcript should include all courses taken at the high school level, including grades, GPA, credits, and graduation requirements. I also want you to start creating course descriptions to provide clarity for admissions officers. Because here's the thing, unless you tell them, they won't know what your child actually learned in each of their courses. Start keeping detailed records of all extracurriculars, volunteer work, and co-op classes that your teen completes throughout high school. This will help to explain how your students spent their time outside of the classroom. Don't downplay the role that you as a homeschool administrator plays in this process. Admissions officers are used to seeing homeschool transcript and they know how to evaluate them. To piggyback off of what I just mentioned, tip number 3 is to highlight rigor with dual enrollment in outside classes. I want you to encourage your student to enroll in the most rigorous courses that they can handle. Advanced placement and college dual enrollment courses prove that your teen has what it takes to handle college level coursework. Colleges love seeing homeschoolers succeed at this level when they take these courses early. However, if the most rigorous courses are not available to your student, honors level homeschool coursework is also very valid. But here's the thing, one of the reasons we started homeschooling in the first place was to give our students the flexibility to explore subjects that are of interest to them. If you sacrifice that for the sole purpose of impressing admissions officers, your student might lose the passion that drives them to continue to excel. I want you to also keep your child's mental health in mind. Pushing them too hard or forcing them to take classes they are not ready for may not only set them up for failure, but may cause unnecessary stress and pressure or cause them to second guess their abilities. Remember, grades earned in college courses become a part of your student's college GPA. Tip number 4 is to prepare for standardized testing. This includes the SAT, ACT, or the CLT. Now, this is where things have changed in the past couple of years. Pre-COVID, most schools required testing as a part of the admissions process. Currently, many schools are switching it up and not requiring students to report scores for the SAT, ACT, or CLT. With that being said, I definitely recommend your student prepare for, take, and submit scores for at least one test for a couple of reasons. Number one, many colleges still use tests to evaluate homeschool students. It's the one piece of data that allows them to compare your students to other. Number two, some schools use test scores to dish out merit-based scholarships and grants. And number three, some states require testing for state-funded financial aid. For instance, here in Florida, students are required to take a standardized test in order to qualify for the Bright Future scholarships. This does not mean that your student must take the SAT, ACT, or CLT multiple times, but if they start preparing early, they will learn which test is the best fit for them and will know where to focus their attention. For example, after taking a couple of practice tests, my daughter learned that she performs much better on the ACT than the SAT. This knowledge meant that she could focus all of her attention on that test instead of trying to study for both. And if you've never heard of the CLT, you're not alone. Some colleges, including public schools in Florida, accept the CLT or the Classic Learning Test, which is thought to be more homeschool friendly than the other options. Just remember, even if a college is test optional, a strong test score can help your homeschooler stand out and strengthen their application. Tip number 5 is to start thinking about letters of recommendation early. One of the biggest mistakes that we made when applying for college was not considering the role these letters play in the application process. I went to public universities, so I didn't even realize private schools and the most competitive public schools required letters of recommendation. This is especially important for homeschoolers because even though as parents we are the principal, the school counselor, and sometimes teacher, we usually cannot write these letters on our students' behalf due to a conflict of interest. So do not wait until senior year to start thinking about letters of recommendation. Your teen should start to build relationships with co-op teachers, online instructors, dual enrollment professors, or volunteer supervisors as soon as possible, paying close attention to those who teach core courses. I'll do a complete training on letters of recommendation in the next video. Tip number 6 is to craft a strong application essay. I personally think the application essay is one of the most important components of a homeschooler's college application. Our students often have unique stories, interests, and experiences, and they can use their essay to really set themselves apart from the thousands of other high school students who have pretty much had the same academic experience. As a former English teacher, I cannot stress enough how much of a game changer a great essay can be. Admissions officers love essays that highlight personal growth and an authentic voice. This is not the time for your teen to try to guess what the admissions officer wants to read. It's not about following a formula, but about telling a story. And don't let your teen wait until the last minute to start writing their essay. Common App pretty much reuses the same essay prompts from year to year, so junior year is a great time to begin thinking, planning, and drafting. Tip number 7 is to encourage your student to showcase their extracurriculars and passions. Many homeschoolers spend a good chunk of their day engaging in activities that have absolutely nothing to do with schools. I've worked with students who were dancers, athletes, business owners, and world travelers. Ultimately, students who fit school into their schedule versus making it their main focus. Colleges want well-rounded students, and in my opinion, homeschoolers have a leg up in this area because they've shown that they can prioritize, manage their time, and balance their academics and outside interests. Be sure to clearly document everything, including hours, leadership roles, and achievements in these extracurriculars. And the last tip, or tip number 8, is to follow instructions. Colleges spend months fine-tuning their application process each year. Nothing they do is happenstance. Everything has a purpose. When it comes to the application process, Be sure to meet all deadlines, including dates for submitting supplemental materials and test scores. Do not submit any unrequested documents. You are not doing your student any favors. Regarding letters of recommendation, if the admissions team asks for a specific number of letters or for them to be written by a specific subject area teacher, follow their directions. My next video will be all about letters of recommendation, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Here's what I want you to remember. Homeschooling does not put your child at a disadvantage in the college application process. In fact, it can be a strength because your teen's story will stand out. So start early, stay organized, and lean into the unique opportunities that homeschooling provides. Your student can get into college and thrive once they're there. If you'd like a clear roadmap for this journey, I've created 2 free guides, one for students and one for parents, that walk you step by step from middle school through senior year. You can grab your copy using the link in the description. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with another homeschool mom. And check out my playlist titled College Admissions 101 for Homeschoolers for more guidance on transcripts, recommendation letters, and essays. I hope to see you in the next video.